Hi friends, the excitement is still building up because December is around the corner. We have 30 days left as I am recording this video. But anyway, I want to continue with my lessons that I have learned this year. So today I will start with number one, delayed gratification. This can be practiced on a day-to-day basis. So for an example, me, I really love watching reality TV shows, and I know that there's nothing that those shows do for me. They don't build me up at all. But what I do now is I tell myself that before I watch a reality TV show, I'm going to do something productive for myself. So for me, I use reality shows as sort of a reward for something great that I have done. So for an example, if I'm lazy to go to gym, I tell myself that I'm going to watch an episode of maybe Love is Blind after doing my exercise at the gym. So practice delayed gratification. Know that you must pay the price now so that you can pay any price at a later stage. So allow yourself to start with things that are going to build you up first, and then you can do the other things. This applies in so many areas. Like when you save money, you know that it's going to grow, or when you invest money, you know that it is going to grow in the long run. When you invest your time, it is going to grow in the long run. So practice delayed gratification. That is another biggest lesson that I have learned this year. The second one that I want to talk about is focus. Remember that your energy flows where your focus goes. So ask yourself, what are you focusing on today? And the thing that you're focusing on, is it helping you or is it destroying you? And I think for me, this was the biggest lesson when I was learning how to drive and when I was learning how to ride a bicycle. So the guy who was teaching me how to ride a bicycle kept telling me, look forward, stop looking at the bicycle. You know what the bicycle looks like, you know where your left and your right foot is. Stop focusing on that, because you're going to crash and you're not going to move forward. Focus on the road, focus where you're going. Even when it comes to driving, you need to focus on where you are going. You can glance at the review mirror every now and then, but you cannot focus there, because if you do that, you're going to crash. Okay, so focus where you want to go. That was also one of my biggest lessons this year. Okay, point number 3 is you need to learn to turn things that you perceive as your weaknesses to your strength. So for me, I really struggled with being identified as an introvert before. I think there was a time when I was younger where I even Googled how to be an extrovert, because I thought that being an introvert is something that is bad. But what if you look at what are the strength of introverts? They're very good at listening, they're very good at reflecting, are usually detail oriented. So look at the good things that can come out of something that you feel like for you is a weakness. I think what opened my eyes to this was when I read an article about people who stay in abusive relationships for a longer period. So it said that someone who stays in for longer periods in an abusive relationship, that person is usually very persistent. So instead of using their persistence in that toxic relationship, they can use that same persistence in their goals. So they can maybe start working on their goals and be persistent in that. And the more they do that, the more they will reap good rewards. So look at what do you perceive as your weaknesses and ask yourself, how can you use those to work for your advantage? And the last one that I want to talk about is you need to build your assets and you need to decrease your liabilities. So something that I've learned when it comes to this is every time when someone tells me about liabilities and liabilities and assets, I always thought that, like, for an example, my home is an asset. I used to think that my car is an asset, not understanding that actually even the home that you are staying in, if it's not bringing you money, it is not an asset, it is actually a liability, which was a big lesson for me. Okay, so ask yourself if something is bringing you money or if it is taking from you. And so with assets and liabilities, what I also did not know is that assets don't only apply to material things like your car and your house and your investments and whatever, but assets and liabilities also applies to people. People can be an asset to you or they can be a liability. Your time can be an asset or a liability. If you waste your time doing things that are stupid, maybe binging Netflix the whole time instead of being productive at work, then that means that in that moment your time is being a liability and not an asset. If people are always gossiping around you, they are telling you bad news, they're just not lifting up your energy, those people are a liabilities. But if someone is motivating you, someone is encouraging you, someone is helping you to go wherever that you need to go, that person for you is an asset. Another thing that I didn't know about assets and liabilities is that when you are building your skills, like when you have confidence is also your asset. Courage is also your asset. But when your courage is also too much, that also can be an something that is annoying, which now moves your courage now to being a liability. So ask yourself, what are the liabilities in your life and what are the assets in your life, and how can you build on the assets in your life? And I think the last one that I want to touch on is you don't need to cut people off your life. You just need to get busy. If you feel like someone is wasting your time, there's no need for you to be rude or tell them that, hey, I don't need you in my life because you are pulling me down, whatever, which is a mistake that I have done in the past, where I cut a lot of people off my life. But you don't need to do that. You don't need to cut people off your life. You don't need to like have bad blood with people. But what you can do is you can focus on your goals, you can work on yourself, you can get busy, and naturally people who don't belong in your life will fall off without any resentment, without any grudges, without any fights. Okay, I hope this has been informative. Let me know in the comment section below what is your biggest takeaway, and thank you so much for your time. Until next time, goodbye.